We are on the verge of a golden age in the economy for the next 4 years where we can have a growth agenda where we deregulate, get energy prices down, and get interest rates down, and that will drive growth like we have not seen for years.
Investors are hoping for another strong week on Wall Street following last week's post-election surge that saw the Dow and S&P 500 put in its best weekly performance all year. Now, small business owners are looking forward to the potential impact of the incoming Trump administration and a Republican economic agenda in Congress. For more on what Main Street is expecting, let's bring in the Marks Group PC CPA Gene Marks and Rockin Cigar Bar and Grill owner Frank Ricci Jr. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks for having us, Mike.
So from the Fox News voter analysis, opinions about the nation's economy, condition of the nation's economy, 7% saying excellent, 30% good, 40% not so good, 24% poor. What do you make of that, Frank?
Well, I'll be honest with you. On Wednesday morning, you couldn't smack the smile off my face. We were very excited about what's about to happen to this country. We understand that the no tax on tips is going to be huge for our employees that are here, and we're really looking forward to the next 4 years.
Did inflation decide the election, Gene?
Yeah, inflation was a big part of it. I think what a lot of people missed, Mike, when they were looking and saying that inflation was coming down. Yeah, it's been coming down, but most of my clients, most of the typical small businesses, I think Frank would also agree, I mean, dealing with a huge cost increase just over the past 3 to 4 years. So they've been trying to grapple with those cost increase. Margins are very, very tight in many businesses like food service and restaurant industry. It makes things really tough. It's tough to hear from the politicians that inflation is under control and everything is okay when you're writing the checks and you're like, no, our costs are much higher. Small businesses, they notice that.
President-elect Trump is talking about using tariffs strategically to try to level the playing field with some of our foreign adversaries. Let's play the back and forth on that.
I'm a little nervous of the markets right now, not because of President Trump, but some of the things he's talking about, like tariffs and where he is on some of his areas of immigration. That's inflationary. So it will be actually interesting to see where the markets go.
I think the tariffs have been mischaracterized. They're a one-time price increase, and nobody knows how to use these tariffs like President Trump, both for revenue and negotiating.
Fair. Frank, what do you make of this issue?
Well, tariffs are a tool, and I think President Trump is going to use them correctly. I don't think he's going to put tariffs on things that are already things that we don't make anymore. For example, a television or all the parts that go inside of cars. What he wants to do is he wants to make sure that Ford doesn't move, but the parts that go inside the Ford that are assembled in this country, they need to stay where they're at, and I think that's going to be fine. But I do believe that Ford needs to stay here, and if they decide to move or Chevrolet decides to move, there will be massive tariffs, so much so that it will be too painful for them to leave, and that's very important for the American worker.
Gene, what's your take on it?
Yeah, my best story I could tell is just 2 weeks ago, I was speaking to an association of furniture manufacturers. And I got to tell you, these people are getting crushed by China and other countries that are undercutting pricing and dumping their materials on the markets way below where these guys can compete. And we all know that a lot of that stuff is being subsidized by the Chinese government and other governments. So I can tell you, there was a room full of people, probably 400 people there, that were cheering on President Trump's decision to increase tariffs, because I think they strongly believe it will level the playing field for them and protect jobs.
Gene Marks, Frank Ricci, gentlemen, thanks very much.
Thank you, Mike. Take care.